I want to begin by converting what is currently slope-intercept form into standard form. For some reason, my students struggle with that more than anything. So the first thing we're going to do is write down the rules of standard form. Number one, we want our variables on the left. We want our constant on the right. So in this case, your constant is -5, and your variables obviously would be y and 3/4 x. When you do this, you want to make sure that the order is x, y, and then constant, just like it is in the formula. So we begin by subtracting 3/4 x on both sides. And that part is done. Rule number two, we don't want any fractions in standard form. So the fact that we have that 3/4 is an issue. We need to make sure that there's no fractions. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply the whole equation by 4. And that's going to get me -3x plus 4y equals -20. And then rule number 3, your x term needs to be positive. So as long as those three criteria are met, you have standard form. So if you want to make your -3 into positive, you're going to have to multiply everything in the equation by -1. So your final answer will be 3x minus 4y equals 20. So letter A, you probably haven't had to do before. I know they don't require it when you're in Algebra 1. Now letter B, you should have had to do that before. They're presenting you with standard form, and you have to turn it into slope-intercept form, aka you want to get y by itself. So step 1, you want to subtract 4x to the other side. Step 2, you want to divide everything by 6. And in this particular example, you have a fraction that can be reduced, so you want to make sure that your 4/6 becomes 2/3. And you have your slope-intercept form. So you went from slope-intercept to standard. You went from standard to slope-intercept. Now you're going to go from point-slope form to slope-intercept form, and then from there you're going to go to standard form. Right. So step 1, if you're going to go to slope-intercept form, you're going to distribute the 3/5 into the parentheses. So now you have 3/5 x plus 6/5. Step 2, you want y by itself, so you're going to have to add 5 to both sides. But work smarter, not necessarily harder. You're going to have to add 5 to 6/5. So I would change 5 into 25/5. And reminder, you're going to add 5 over, so now it's going to be positive. And then you just simply combine like terms and you get your 3/5 x plus 31/5 as your slope-intercept form. And then you're going to practice the steps to standard. So follow your rules. So you want letters on the left, constant on the right. You're going to bring that. Now to go from standard form from point slope form. Again, let's pretend that I give you this as a starting problem, and I want you to convert that to standard form. You are certainly welcome to put it in slope-intercept form, just as we did, and then go from there to standard using the same steps as we did in Part A. That's fine, but there's an easier way to do it, and that's what I'm going to show you. Right. So I copied the starting problem, and I knew right off the bat, we have a fraction. I know that there's no fractions allowed in standard form, so I'm going to eliminate my fraction. I'm going to multiply everything that's not in the parentheses by 5. And in doing so, I will get 5y minus 25 equals 3x plus 2. So now I have no fractions. I took care of that first because I didn't feel like working with fractions throughout this process. Then I distribute. I want my letters on the left and I want my constant on the right. So that means 3x will have to be subtracted to this side. 25 will have to be added to the 6. And then I would have to multiply everything here by -1 because I want to make sure I have positive 3x. Final answer being 3x minus 5y equals -31.